Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day. Today I wanted to take a short look at Pokémon Quest, a newly released title for the Nintendo Switch. This isn't going to be a full review, but I think this video will give you an idea of what to expect should you decide to try the game yourself. Pokémon Quest was released on May 29th, 2018 for the Nintendo Switch, but will also be getting a release for mobile devices at a later time. The game is, as Nintendo likes to put it, free to start, and purchases can be made ranging from $4.99 to just under $20. I won't be going into the details of these purchases as I'm more interested in what the game would offer someone going in as a free player. Also, as the game is a solo experience, I won't comment on whether or not this should be considered pay to win or anything like that. I will discuss microtransactions somewhat later on in this video, because even as a free player, you are capable of obtaining some of the cash shop currency. Alright, so with that said, it's time to talk about the game itself, starting with the UI, since I do have some pretty nice things to say about it. Many mobile games tend to be full of unnecessary and quite confusing menus. Often you find yourself on a single screen with poorly laid out menu options, with many selections being grayed out or otherwise inaccessible. For mobile games, this is a big deal breaker for me. Menu navigation sucks, and many mobile games try to hide their shallow gameplay through overcomplicating the menus, so I end up feeling like I can't be bothered to get into it. Thankfully, this isn't the case for Pokémon Quest. This is how you do a mobile game's user interface. Everything has a nice, crisp look to it. Things are simple and easy to understand, and after the short tutorial, you have access to all of the game's UI elements. Nothing is grayed out. Speaking of tutorials, I feel like this is another thing the game does right compared to other mobile titles. I'd say it took less than 15 minutes before the game gave me proper control, and even when it's running me through the game's mechanics, I didn't feel like it was interrupting me all that much. Moving along, let's get into the actual mechanics of the game. Like many mobile games, especially the Gashapon style games, you construct a team, and in this case you will choose up to 3 Pokemon to send out on expeditions, who you will also power up by leveling up and unlocking slots that you can use to boost your Pokemon's stats using items you collect during said expeditions. While on an expedition, the Pokemon will travel around the map and fight other wild Pokemon on their own. Each Pokemon will know up to 2 moves, and you can influence the fight by commanding them to use special attacks or other moves that will buff allies and debuff enemies. You are also able to command your team to disperse to avoid some of the wild Pokemon's attacks, and if you can't be bothered, you can also activate Auto Battle, but don't expect it to play the game perfectly. Some fights might require your attention, especially if your combat power is around or lower than the stage recommends. On the early stages, the game can literally play itself. Your Pokemon could probably make it through the stages without even enabling auto combat. I worried that this game's difficulty might never leave the area of do little to nothing and win, but as I made it through more of the stages, I started to feel like my input really helped pull through stages that would otherwise cause my Pokemon to fail. In the end, I feel that Pokémon Quest does a good job at giving the player enough control in each expedition and ends up feeling more engaging than many other mobile titles on the market. So far I've been pretty positive about the game, but I do have a few gripes that I feel are worth a mention. First off, as a guy who likes to binge play games, one thing that I really dislike is the use of an energy system. I find anything that utilizes time gate mechanics at best interrupts someone's enjoyment of the game, and at worst convinces people to spend money to feed an addiction. No matter how you look at it, it's just not a good system, but if you play the game more casually, then this shouldn't be as big of a problem. The next gripe I have is probably more personal and something most players won't ever have to deal with. This is how the game handles while playing with a controller. The game has you directing a cursor with the controller, and I feel this would have worked out better if they made it so the cursor you control would auto-adjust itself onto the different selectable menu options. This was mainly an issue for me as I needed to keep the Switch docked in order to record gameplay footage. Otherwise, the game is not meant to be played this way. The last thing I would like to mention is the art style. The voxelized aesthetic is not going to be for everyone. Some people, including myself, will find the game to look quite charming, but others might have a much more negative opinion on the game's appearance. And also, though I did say I found the art style charming, even I have to admit that some of the Pokemon ended up looking quite ugly. As I mentioned near the beginning of this video, the game does use microtransactions. Good or bad, I thought I'd give it its own section here at the end. You are given a small amount of the cash shop currency each day, as well as through completing challenges. With the currency, you are able to purchase decorations for your camp that offer boosts, inventory upgrades, as well as give you the option to bypass wait times and replenish your energy. Standard fare for mobile titles. This can result in the game creating an arbitrary grind in order to convince the player to purchase boosts or skips, but I'm not deep enough into the game to make that call for myself, and it's partially up to the player's tolerance for the grind. When it comes to inventory upgrades, I don't think that will be a problem, as the daily currency should have you covered on that front. I'd like to wrap up this video by giving some final thoughts. Pokémon Quest is a strong attempt at making a fun and engaging free-to-play mobile title. That is to say, expect it to feel like a free-to-play mobile title. I can see myself playing this between my other activities throughout the day, and I believe this will feel more comfortable playing on a cell phone over the massive and awkward touchscreen of the Switch. And of course, the game is free, so what do you have to lose, right? But I would like to know what you think. Will you be giving Pokémon Quest a shot? Or if you don't have a Switch, are you looking forward to trying it out when it comes out on mobile devices? Or is the energy mechanic, payment model, or art style a deal breaker for you? Let me know in the comments below, and if you're interested in seeing more videos like this one, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. See ya!